Happy Sunday! Let's have some fun today, shall we? Running, running, and 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 running. In this context, there's no disrespect. Is everybody having a good Sunday? Enjoying the nice weather? The weather in New York City is finally getting nice and everybody's out and about. The jackets are going in the closet, so it's really nice. Hey Sora, welcome! We're dancing it up, waiting for a few more people to join and then we'll get started. Get started. Let's get it started. Hey Rob! I'm just checking on the music and ready for a few people to join in and we can get started. I'm also doing this live right after on Instagram. So if you're missing any of it through Facebook, you can come join me right after on Instagram. So how are you guys doing? It's such a nice Sunday. I know both of you guys live in New York City and the weather is so nice today. Everybody's out and about. All right, so let me turn this music down and let's get started. Like the song says, I'm just finding one song and then we are ready. So before today's session, I pulled a card for us, for everybody that was joining today. And this card, the message of this card is, be willing to forgive. So this is a beautiful message, and really what this card, the angels want to tell us is that it's time to trade your pain for peace. So it sounds like we're all holding on to a little bit of resentment and anger, and which is normal because sometimes our feelings get hurt and it's really hard to forgive somebody. It's really hard to let it go. But really the message, and I pulled it directly for all of you that are here and are joining me now, so it's specifically for all of us, but really it's about forgiveness. And sometimes it can be really hard to even know how to begin to figure out how to forgive somebody because, again, if your feelings are hurt, it's really hard to let it go. And what it's awesome about this message and this card is that you don't even have to know how you're going to be able to forgive this person or the situation or maybe a past relationship. All that you're responsible for is to have the willingness to forgive. So all you have to be like, hey, whether you believe in God, the angels, your higher self, the universe, whatever it might be, when you're ready to forgive the person, all you have to say is, hey, universe, I'm willing to forgive. Please help me. I'm ready. And that's all you're responsible for, and the forgiveness and the healing will begin. And really, it's going to be so great for you and for me, because actually there's a few people when this came up that I was like, oh my God, yeah, I could actually forgive there. You're going to trade and you're going to have more peace and love. So really in these times of despair and everything that's going on around us, we can all elevate our energies by forgiving and making more room for peace and love. So I thought this was such a perfect message. And again, all you have to do is ask and be willing to forgive. And that's all that you need to do. And then everything will start shifting in your life. So there's two things that I want to do today. So I've seen with my clients a lot in the past few weeks, a theme around feeling guilty, feeling a little heavy. There's a little bit of heaviness going on around us. And I'm gonna do a beautiful meditation today in order to be able to free us from that guilt and that heaviness, so we can show up to we're going to work, to our relationships, to anything around us a little bit more authentically. So also there's Easter coming up next week, and there's Passover this week. So there's also a time where we're going to be with our families. And as much as we love our families, for a lot of people that can be stressful. So in order to what are tools that you can bring with yourself to be able to elevate the energy energy when you're with your family, when you're with your loved ones, when you're with your friends. So it doesn't feel so heavy and stressful and like, oh, Aunt Mary's, frustrating me, or Uncle Pete is on my nerves. It's like, how do you show up in a way that you're able to see the best in everybody that's around you? So let me get a little song on, and if you can get comfortable, and we can do a meditation. And right after the meditation, I'm going to talk about the one thing that we all have in common, that if you don't know what yours is, it's really going to cause a lot more stress in your life, rather than if you're aware of what this is, then it's going to make everything a little bit easier for you. And instead of pointing fingers to those around you, you're going to be able to be a little bit more conscious about the actions that you take and why people bother you or frustrate you. So I love this subject. So let me find, here we go. Let me find a song, and let's take a deep breath. And we're going to start a meditation. So close your eyes and just relax. Get comfortable in your space. I hope that you can hear it. And start breathing out everything that's been feeling heavy this week. Anything that you've been carrying in your shoulders that feels a little bit heavier, that feels negative a little bit, that feels a little toxic, and you don't really know how to get rid of it. So keep breathing in and breathing out. And imagine yourself that you are on your favorite place in this whole earth. Whether it's on a beach or at a park, on a mountain. Close your eyes and just picture yourself there. As you continue breathing, imagine there is a light rain coming from above. And it's soft. And it feels warm. And it's touching the top of your head, your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks. And everything that's touching on your head and your shoulders, immediately it feels like instant relief. You feel light. You feel loved. And all of the stress, it just easily melts away. As the rain keeps coming, washing down your chest, down your arms, your hands. And you continue breathing and you think, oh my gosh, I feel so good. Everything just melts away. Everything from this week just instantly melts away. The rain softly washes over your stomach, your legs, your feet, your toes. And softly washes all over your body. And you feel so good, so light. You feel exactly like yourself, and you feel so good. There's not a worry in the world. As you continue breathing, picture a light, a bright light that's shining from the bottom of your feet as you're grounded on the floor, on the beach, on the sand, wherever it is. And this light keeps getting brighter. And just picture the light going below the grounds of the earth, one layer at a time, softly and deeply. Picture that you reach the bottom of the earth with this light, and you see this bright, bright light where you're connected to. This light is part of who you are. And you know that any time of this next week that you're feeling stress or anxious, you're connected to this light, and you can call upon it anytime, and it can bring you back, right back to this moment. As you picture the light come up your feet again, inside your body, up your feet, up your legs, your stomach, your chest. This light is expanding all inside of you, and it's going up your chest, your throat, up your head, and it just pushes on top of your head, and it explodes all around you, and you're surrounded by this light, and you feel an inner sense of peace that's unshakable inside and all around you. As you continue breathing, think of one or two things that have been on your mind, that have been feeling heavy for you, that have been feeling stressful for you. What are those things? Now, out of those couple of things, just pick one. The one has been the most painful and hard for you. And imagine a basket in front of you. Imagine that you place your one concern, your one stress on this basket, and you leave it there. Imagine the beautiful light around you coming and picking this light and taking it away from you. You've given your concerns to the universe, and you're willing to show up and do whatever it takes, but it's not your responsibility anymore on how this problem is solved and how this challenge is resolved. Now you see your problems going up and away in this beautiful basket, and you know in your heart of hearts that it's been solved. You feel so good to finally say, thank you, this problem is solved, I don't have to worry about it anymore. You feel happy, you feel joyful, and you're so excited to know that it's no longer a problem. As you continue breathing in and out, just feel the beautiful vibes all around you. And know that you can take this on throughout the week, that when you wake up tomorrow, you're surrounded by these vibes. You're surrounded by this state of joy and love, and that's how you're going to show up to work. That's how you're going to show up to your kids, to your family, to your loved ones. You're bringing this beautiful energy with you. Take another breath and open up your eyes and just stay in that beautiful energy and that vibe. Hi, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that served you and you felt good and you felt loved and joy. That was beautiful. I felt all of you guys' energy. So let me move on to, I'm just looking for a song. Let me move on to this next part that I'm super passionate about, and I know it's gonna serve you. You're welcome, Soph. I love you. I'm glad it helped. So let's talk about values. So I mentioned earlier that I was going to share with you something that we all have in common, and something that we can all learn about ourselves that's really going to help you show up in a different way, because it's going to bring you more awareness. And that one thing are values. So, okay, we hear about values all the time, values, blah, blah, blah. These are my values. But values are so important, you guys. Values are principles in essence that we all live by, right? So, for example, if you value authenticity, so you show up to your friends and you're authentic. If you feel like you're hanging out with a group of people and they're not authentic, you're going to feel bothered. Why? Because in essence, they are not respecting your values. They're showing up in a way that's not authentic, and that's going to bother you. So when we're hanging around families and maybe they're not being, they're not showing up in their values, that's going to bother you. So once you know your values, so you're like, okay, Steph, so what are my values? How do I figure out my values? So think of a time in your life where you were hanging out with somebody and you felt really good, you felt like you were expanding, you got home and you're like, yes, I feel good, and you want to get stuff done. What values? What did you feel about that person? Was it their integrity? Was it their authenticity? Was it they were showing up and they were funny? Some people value humor. Whatever it is, right? So think about maybe 2 or 3 things that you truly value. For me, for example, authenticity is a big one. So I value authenticity. I love hanging around with people that are authentic. And that's something when I feel like I'm hanging out with somebody and they might be putting on a show, they might be not showing up the way they are, it bothers me and I get frustrated. So authenticity is a big value for me. Integrity is a big value. So for example, like, are you going to treat everybody like somebody, like a person? Sometimes when we go to restaurants and people treat their servers a certain way, respect, right? So no matter what your title is, no matter what you do, I value respect. So what are a couple values that you have? Then when a value is when you're hanging out with somebody, so now let's think of another situation. You're hanging out with somebody and you come home and you're like, oh my God, I am pissed. This person bothered me, frustrated me, or I want to go home and you want to take a nap and you're exhausted or you're aggravated. That's because whomever you were hanging around with or whatever the situation that you were in, your values were being compromised. Your values were being disrespected. So as soon as you come home, that's how you're going to feel. So values are so important because, again, talking about, Easter next weekend or Passover or, it's a big family weekend and there's going to be a lot of different personalities. There's going to be a lot of people around you. But if you know your values, when your auntie, Mary comes in and she's like, oh, Sophia, she says something that you feel disrespected, then you're going to be like, I can't stand her. Instead of putting it outwardly to somebody else, think about yourself and think, you know what? Aunt Mary didn't know that my value was, respect. So you don't take it out on them. You realize, okay, that's why that bothered me. So it brings a lot more awareness and clarity for the people that you're hanging around with because you're not constantly blaming everybody around you, but you're bringing it up to yourself and you know the people you want to hang out with because they're going to respect your values. So I would say, I challenge you guys, if you want to really go a little bit deeper, think about 2 or 3 values. What are things that you love? What are things that make you feel respected? What are things that make you feel really good about yourself? And then keep in mind those values and then think about it when you're at your job. Are those values being respected or are they being compromised? When you're hanging around with friends, are your values being respected or not? So that way you can start bringing a little bit more awareness and consciousness into your everyday life and you don't think that the world is out to get you, that everybody's out to piss you off, but really people are just being people and your values just happen to be compromised. How does that sound? Hi, Casey. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. And Kamika, how are you guys? So that's today's Zen Sunday. And before I leave, one second. My friend, okay, I'm back. My friend Jenna does these beautiful signs. Faith it till you make it. She does a lot of custom signs and she has a shop on Etsy. It's called Moose Oliver Designs. And for all of you Zen Sundays followers, I'm not getting any commission or anything. This is just purely out of love and because I love her and I think this is amazing. She's giving either 20 or 25% off if you use the code Zen Sunday. So for the month of April, you're going to get a percentage off if you buy any of her signs. I keep this on my desk. I love this so much. Faith it till you make it. And this is it. Moose Oliver Designs. So if you guys want to take advantage of this, maybe for a loved one, maybe for somebody else's birthday, or whatever it might be, I highly recommend these beautiful signs that my friend makes. And again, it's not about commission, it's about sharing things that I love, that I know my audience and you guys will love. So if you missed today's Zen Sunday on Facebook, I'm going to be live right now in about 10 minutes on Instagram. On my Instagram handle is Stephanie Verschow, and we're going to do a meditation. I'm going to talk about values and the principles and how you can use them to better serve yourself in this week when you're hanging around with family. And I hope you love today's Zen Sunday. I'm so glad you joined. I hope the meditation helped. And again, if you missed part of it, or if you want to do it again and join again, please come over to my Instagram in about 10 minutes. I'm going to talk about it again. And I wish you guys the best week for those celebrating Easter, for those honoring Passover, and really being a vessel for love. Everybody that's here is full of love, and I know that you can bring that to your communities, to your friends, to your family, and to those around you. So let's do a little dance party. Let's see. Okay, this song is so good. Who wants to jam out? And again, if you missed it, come join me on Instagram in about 10 minutes so we can do the whole meditation again and have some fun with our Insta peeps. Shiny happy people, shiny happy people. I love you guys. Mwah. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next Sunday. I love you, Sora Kim. I love you guys. Thank you for joining, and see you soon. Bye. Mwah.